Welcome PyCoders to the core Python tutorials for the beginner. Okay, in the last video session, we have talked about some useful and versatile data types in Python, such as like tuple, list, sets, and dictionaries. So in this session, we will talk about functions, how the functions is gonna be creating, what the types of function, and all the concept as of the functions in Python are very important topic, and it's a was too. That's why I got divided into two different parts. So in part one, we will got to be understand about a function, like how to define a function, the calling of function, and pass by reference versus pass by value of a function. So let's get started, guys. Okay, so in a function is a block of organized and which is reusable code that is used to perform a single related action. Okay, what is function itself? A function is a block of organized reusable code that is used to perform a single related action. Means a function, we can define the set of blocks, that blocks is having a particular action to be performed. The function provide a better modularity for your application and high degree of code reusing. So by writing a function, you can, by recalling them multiple times, you can reusable that codes using a multiple times as well. And as you know already, the Python gives us a many built-in functions like print, input, then type, etc., etc. But you can also create your own function, and these functions are called as a user-defined function. Now let's check it out how to define a user-defined function. All right. So to define a user-defined function, I will just write it here. Defining a user-defined function. Right, let's check it out what the content it will does. You can define the functions to provide the required functionality, and there are some rules to define a functions in Python. Let's check the rules for the define functions in Python. The first rule is the function block begins with the keyword which is called as a def. Means what? The function block begins with the keyword which is def. If I need to define a function, I need to start by the def keyword, and which is followed by I need to followed by that function by the name and the parenthesis like this. So we have to write a function. If suppose I need to write a user defined function, then the function blocks begins with the keyword which is def, followed by the name of function and the open and close parenthesis over there. All right, so this is the first important property for defining a function. Then second property is any input parenthesis or argument, any input parameters or argument should be placed within these opening and closing parentheses. What if like the function have arguments, then we have to provide the arguments over in open and close parentheses over there. And the first statement of function, the first statement of function can be an optional statement. It's not a compulsory one, but you can use in standard way. The first statement of function must be the optional one, optional statement. The documentation, we can say the documentation of the function. Okay, all right. So it is not a mandatory one, but in Python it will support for, we can write it. If we are not writing, then it's well and good, it's not a problem with that. And the code block within every function start with the colon. What if like I need to write the block of the code, then the code block of the function within every function which starts with the colon over to there. Like as a for loop we have written, for loop if statement that we have written, once the condition has been done, then we are returning colon over to there, and that colon must be the beginning of our particular way, and the return statement will be there. But how the statements will be used, we will see it at the part second. All right, so this will be the first part. At the first part we will see the how to define a user defined function in Python. to define a user-defined function in Python, the function blocks begins with a keyword which is called as a def and which is followed by name and open close parentheses. Alright, the second property is any input parameters or argument should be placed within this open and close parentheses. The first statement of function can be optional. You can use it as an optional way. It is not a compulsory one. And the code block of function within every function which start with the colon. One means once I can retain the def, the name of function open close parenthesis, then I want to write the colon and then I want to write the block of statement. Now let's check it out, the syntax to create the function. All right, the syntax must be like this. I need to provide the def, alright, def like this, def, and then function name. Alright, here is the list of parameter. If the function contain parameter, it is not so compulsory one, and then we have to write our statements like this. And we know how to define how to close the statements. We have seen in other intended error, you just write down the backspace and statements like this at here, then you can closing down your statements like this. The function is going to be created. Let's check it out, that function inside our file, and create a one single function in Python ideally. So I will open my Python ideally here, Python ideally. All right, I will just change the background, and most of the people says it is not so visible, that's why I'm just changing it. A dark theme, I will go to the new theme like this, apply. Okay, all right, so I will create a function, create a new file. How to create a new file? Just go to file, okay, then new file. Here itself I will write my function like this, def, okay, and the function name is suppose show message. Right, it don't have any arguments. I'm writing as a default, and I'm writing a print function inside this is like we are inside the function. All right, and print message is gonna be print here. All right, so two statements I have written. All right, so I'm just closing this block. We have closed this block. Now I need to save this code, so Control S for saving the code. I'm writing as function example. All right, I need to run this file. Now we want to see the calling of function. This is the definition of function. By default, the parameter have the positional behavior, and you need to inform them the same order of the parameter. As of here in this case, we are not using any parameters. We will check it out in arguments how to define the parameters and all. So this is the example of default function that is not returning any kind of value and don't have any arguments over here, right? So I need to call this function, and the calling of function is quite very simply. Defining a function only gives us it a name, specify the parameters that you are to be included in a function, and the structures of the block of the code, right? The once the basic structure of function is finalized, you can execute it by calling it from the another function or directly from in Python prompt using such a way. You can define that function in you can call this function in another function as well, and you can call this function in Python prompt like this. First of all, I need to run this application, so run model, okay, and then I need to write my function like the same. Okay, my function name is show message. I will just figure it out. All right, show message, I will just call like this, show message, and I'm hitting an enter. You can see that function is gonna be execute. So two print statement is coming at our prompt. We are inside the function and the message is gonna be print here, right? So that how you can call the function. That is the first method. And the second method, inside a file you can write your function calling like this, save this code, again run module, and you can get your output once you can execute this code, right? So that how you can execute the function by defining them and by calling them. Now I need to check the pass by reference versus pass by value type. All right, so pass by reference and pass by value, I need to check the difference in between them. all the parameters which we are called as argument in the Python language are passed by reference. Those are not passed by value actually. Okay, let's check it out how it is got to be passed by reference and passed by value. If it means if you change what a parameter refer to within the function can change also reflects back in the calling of function as well. For a part of example, suppose here I have generate a show message function which having the string as an argument. So I'm just defining the string as an argument str1. In Python, as of we are not bothering about the type of variable, so defining an arguments you are not writing their types over to there. By default it will get executes by such a way. All right, so str1 we have written and I'm changing the message. I will print the message as well like this, print my str1 over to here, but I will call the str like this. I will defining a str here and then I need to print at the both side inside the function as well and outside the function as well. So str1 equal to, I'm just writing my message is like YouTube, just quite very simple like YouTube, and I will pass this str over here str1. Let's check it out the output. Okay, I will just save this code, run application, run module, and we can get, we are inside the function as of str is going to be passed the value of str which we have defined as a YouTube, which is quite very same in that function as well, and we will print the same value after calling the function as well. So print str1. Right, I'm saving this code out, run the application, run module, and we can get the YouTube is got printed twice a time because here we have write str1 and here we are printing str1 too. What if like I will change my str1 equal to str1 plus, I'll just write viewers, YouTube viewers. All right, I'm saving this code, running the application, run module, and we can get YouTube viewers, and YouTube means that str1 which is from outside which is not gonna be changed, but the str from that particular block is gonna be changed. So this is the example of call by value to the function. Right, what if like I need to check it out my particular list that suppose I am working on the list and all, this is the example on we have done in the primary way, right? So what if like I have defining a one single function again def. Okay, I just write the function name as change my list, and which is having the argument of a list. I just write the name like my list. All right, and we here we are appending that list. Okay, my list dot append, and I'm appending only two values. Okay, or one single value I said, and I'm printing the my list over here. Okay, we are writing such a way like inside function, and we are printing my list. All right, so I need to call, but for that I need to define the my list variable. My list equal to, I'm just defining 10, 30, 40, the three variables inside there, and I will call that function here like change my list, which having the argument as my list. All right, and we are again printing out the my list by such a way outside function, and you can get my list. So I'm saving this code out, I'm running this application, run module. You can get the insider list, the list is gonna be changed and same list is gonna be affected on the outside list. What it means, if I'm working on the non-primitive data types in Python, those are working as a call by value, which changes inside that particular value is only within the block, which is not affected to whole of the programs. And what if like I'm working on the data types in Python, which are the non-primitive data types in Python like list, tuple, if I'm changing inside the Python, then they will got the change overall to the program. And that how the working in between the basic difference all about the call by value and call by reference in Python. So in this session we have seen the how to define some functions in Python. All right, how to call that function, and what is the basic difference in pass by value and pass by value and pass by reference in Python 2. So in next part we will see how that functions arguments are going to be defined, what is anonymous function, and the return statements belonging to the function. So guys, if you like this, if you like this concept, if you see the efforts to works with such a videos and all, please give us a thumbs up. That will give us the motivation to create such a programming video tutorials for you, which is a free of cost. And please do subscribe to our channel. Please like, please share to your colleague that they require actually. And one more thing, uh, stay tuned to our channel. Alright, so thanks for watching this video. In next part we will see in the function arguments, anonymous function, and the return statements which is belonging to the function. Happy coding.